This week on The Lightning Report, we'll introduce you to Matt Sammon, the Lightning Radio's pregame, intermission, and postgame voice. A job that for Matt is fulfilling a lifelong dream.
Watching hockey and talking to hockey players and doing something I love to do, and you have to shake yourself and go, you're pretty lucky to be doing this.
The second part of our exclusive interview with Tim and Jody Taylor takes us back to the spring of 2004 and a journey that concluded with a team walking together forever.
They're with you forever, as well as you're with them forever, and it's a bond that no one could ever take away from you.
In highlights of Tampa Bay's record-setting win over the Islanders.
Leaving it, LeCavalier shoots, scores! The hat trick for Vinny LeCavalier.
Along with games against Boston and the New York Rangers. It's all next as the puck drops for the Lightning Report here on Sun Sports.
He scores!
Hello and welcome to the Lightning Report. I'm Rick Peckham. The Lightning will be out on the road all this week, so let's begin by looking back at a home game involving Bill Guerin and the New York Islanders. New York came into the St. Pete Times Forum holding on to the slightest hopes that they could still make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference, and the Lightning were out to extinguish any flicker of the Islanders' dreams.
Pietro out to play it, had it chopped in front, the shot, they score! Michel Willett pounced on that loose puck. As it was deflected in front, the Lightning burned DiPietro and opened the scoring.
Then Tampa Bay has a 5-on-3 power play, and Vinny LeCavalier scores his second goal in as many games to make the score 2-0 Lightning. Paul Ranger lays a thunderous hit on Mike Comrie, and Nick Tarnasky knocks Brian Berard to the ice. The Islanders tie the game, with the line of Michel Willett, Matthew Darche, and Jeff Halpern come through once again. Darche spots Halpern for the wide-open goal, and the Bolts take the lead 3-2. Then it was time for Vinny to take the game over.
And LeCavalier pulls his way to the front, trying to jam it home. Still working, they score! DiPietro thought he had it, the whistle never blew.
LeCavalier will notch his second hat trick of the year and his sixth of his career.
Leaving it, LeCavalier shoots, scores! The hat trick for Vinny LeCavalier to make it 6-3.
The scoring didn't stop there, however. Just 32 seconds later, the red-hot Willett scores his second of the game off this nice centering pass by Darche. And only 10 seconds later, Jason Ward's goal sets a new Lightning franchise record. 3 goals scored in 42 seconds as Tampa Bay nets a season-high 8 goals in the victory.
I mean, we were hoping for a long time, and it seemed tonight everything went in at once, so I think it's great for everybody's confidence and, build from that.
Two real good line mates, and these two guys I think are real special on the boards, and that helps them out a lot. And coming to a new team, it's a challenge. You have to impress your teammates and the coaches and the management, and you get a small window and small opportunity to make a first impression.
No, I'm not surprised. I think we all knew Jeff. He's been in the league for a while, and we knew what we were getting when we got him. He's a terrific player. I think he's one of those guys that's just hard to play against.
It was a record-setting night for the Bolts, and we want to again congratulate head coach John Tortorella on becoming the winningest U.S.-born NHL coach in league history. It's a tremendous accomplishment. The coaches he passed, names like Bob Johnson, who led the Calgary Flames to the 1986 Stanley Cup Final, then won it all with Pittsburgh in 1991. And Herb Brooks, who coached 4 different teams, but is best remembered for the United States gold medal run and the miracle on ice. Makes what Torts has achieved here in Tampa Bay even more impressive. We have a lot more in store for you here on the show. Here's what's coming up. Highlights of the win in Boston against the Bruins, as well as a Saturday night showdown with a hard-charging New York Rangers. And immediately following the break, we profile Lightning radio host Matt Sammon, who each time he comes to the rink lives out a childhood dream.
To be where I am now, I'm very lucky, very blessed, and very happy.
Stay tuned for more of the Lightning Report on Sun Sports.
This weekend, the St. Pete Times-Forum hosts first and second round action of the NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament. Good seats remain, so call the number on your screen or log on to sptimesforum.com/NCAA 2008. Welcome back to the Lightning Report. I'm Rick Peckham. Throughout the season, Sun Sports will produce 70 game telecasts and this show every week of the season. But for those rare games that aren't televised on Sun Sports, and when coming to and from the St. Pete Times-Forum, Bolts fans enjoy listening to our radio partners, Dave Mishkin and Phil Esposito. There's a third voice Lightning fans have the pleasure of listening to each and every game on the radio. In his second season as the pregame, intermission, and postgame host for the Lightning Radio Network, Matt Sammon brings a passion and knowledge for the sport of hockey that began back before the team was even born.
Matt Sammon and Dave Anderchuk on Lightning Hockey Night on 620 WDAE, the sports animal. And myself as a hockey fan, I've been following the sport for, I'd say, probably 16, 17 years. You know, without too many games on cable TV here in the Bay Area in the early 90s, it was basically box scores and newspapers. That was about it. And when the Lightning came around in 92, I latched on since day one. Just happened to be at the Florida State Fairgrounds in the summer of 92. They were having a select-a-seat day. I think me, my younger brother, were there just to get autographs, and my mother was just driving us around. So we showed up to get autographs, and 2 hours later we had season tickets. So that was one great way to get involved in the sport. Out of college, I got a part-time job at what was then 1250 WDAE, just a weekend board op, fall of 1999. And at the time, Jason Dixon was the program director of the station, and he was my PD there for, I think, a couple of years after I started there.
I've been able to work with Matt on a couple of occasions, hiring him in my old life at WDAE.
He took the job with the Lightning. I worked at DAE for 7 years, and Jason took on more responsibilities with the team, especially off-air responsibilities, and he just didn't have the time to really devote to doing the game day hosting.
They increased my duties here at the Lightning and kind of asked me to step aside with an on-air presence. In this business, it's not often that you get to hire your replacement.
I went through the usual process of sending in a resume and demo, and was able to use my past experience and my fandom with the team.
You know, we had tapes from all around the country, and the guy we wanted was sitting right in our backyard.
He gave me the call, I'd say probably a month before the season started, offered me the job, and it was just too good to refuse. Typically, I'll show up for the morning skate at 10:30, hang around for coaches' comments at 11, talk to players. After that, basically I'll spend about an hour here, and then I'll go off with my laptop computer and just start gathering notes. And then I get some headlines elsewhere around the league, just whatever the big stories are, if there's any big injuries, trades. Try not to do too many rumors, but sometimes there's just big stories that you can't avoid.
Lightning Radio is live. Here's your host, Matt Sammon.
All right, Scotch tape and bubblegum. The Lightning Radio Network is on the air.
Do a broadcast open. I get the scoreboard, the schedule for that night. Probably spend about 3, 4, maybe even 5 hours of just preparing for a game, preparing for 9 or 10 minutes of prepared notes, and then everything else, obviously intermission highlights and scores and post-game reaction, that's all off the cuff, so you just have to be mentally prepared for what's going to be thrown at you that night. It is not just walk in and put on the headsets and go, hey everybody, here's a game tonight. I am a true believer in show prep. The worst mistakes are factual mistakes.
In terms of his prep work, he does put a lot of time in, and I think the fans benefit from the work that he puts in. Matt is not only a great talent on the air in terms of his broadcasting ability, he's got a great sense of humor, and that's on the air and off the air, and it's just a lot of fun to have him around. He's a good friend of mine and my family's, he and his wife as well.
He is not just a great radio play-by-play announcer, he is a great analyst of the game, a great fan of the game, and a great person, too. And I'm blessed to be working with him and Phil Esposito. You still have to kind of shake yourself. I'm getting paid to do this? What? It's something I appreciate every day. To be where I am now, I'm very lucky, very blessed, and very happy.
Matt does a fantastic job on the air. And like all of us who broadcast Tampa Bay Lightning hockey, he combines a love of the sport of hockey with a lot of preparation to make sure that Lightning fans get the best, most entertaining experience. Well, after that big 8-4 triumph over the Islanders, we all headed up to Boston for a game against the Bruins, who were battling for playoff position. A new mask, freshly decorated with a beach theme, awaits Mike Smith taking on the Bruins for the first time in his career. Tampa Bay on the power play. Jeff Halpern will win the faceoff, and he'll tip in Philip Kuba's shot for his 5th goal in a Lightning uniform. Jeff's 3-game goal streak matches a career high before he'll leave the game with a strained back. Second period, and Andreas Karlsson makes it a 2-goal Lightning lead.
Karlsson on the break, roaring into Thomas. He fakes, he scores! Andreas Karlsson with a tremendous move beats Thomas to make it 2-0.
Mike Smith is spectacular in net. Here's stuffing Glenn Metropolitan. Then making the pad save off Dennis Weidman. Smith even comes up with a skate save and stops Phil Kessel's breakaway.
Here comes Kessel, he's on the break with speed, stopped by Smith.
Mike records 35 saves in the game and shakes off this shot by Shane Knighty that hits him in the collarbone. Vinny Lecavalier, playing in his 700th game with the Lightning, seals the 3-1 victory. Only the 3rd win in Boston for Tampa Bay in franchise history.
Feels really good. Feels good to finally cut the cord with the green and gold stuff and get into the right colors here and get a big win tonight.
When we continue here on the Lightning Report, Scott Gomez, Jaromir Jagr, and the New York Rangers come to town for a big Saturday night encounter. And the second part of our exclusive feature with Tim and Jody Taylor.
I've enjoyed every single moment and every person I've met. It's been a dream of a lifetime to think you're going to grow up playing the NHL and win 2 Stanley Cups and to have all the memories that we've had and met all the people we've had.